If you have ever run a campaign on Facebook, I'm sure you'll agree that one of the most amazing things about Facebook is the sheer number of metrics you can track. At every stage of the funnel, Facebook gives you lots and lots of engagement metrics, conversion metrics, reach metrics. And sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming. So today I'm going to deep dive into the key metrics for you to track on a Facebook campaign. Hi everyone, I'm Tisha Relia Hande. Welcome back to Upwards with Tisha and Pradyut. Today we're going to deep dive into key Facebook metrics. Now it's very important for us to remember that the metrics on Facebook are determined by the campaign objective, right? So for example, if our campaign objective is traffic, then it's important for us to track the clicks, the number of people who actually came to the site, the click-through rate, etc. But the metrics I'm going to talk about today are more of an overview, especially if you're getting started with Facebook advertising. These metrics will be important to you. So, do you know that in 2020, 97% of Facebook's revenue came from advertising? In 2021, Facebook generated $114 billion in just ad revenue. So it's important for you and me as marketers to understand what metrics is Facebook really delivering for us. The first and one of the most important things is reach. Reach is the unique number of people who see our ad. So for any ad campaign, it's important to remember that reach will always be unique people. Reach works in tandem with two things, frequency and impressions. Frequency is the average number of time that a person sees a campaign in a week. Now, Facebook recommends that a frequency should be between 1.5 to 2 a week. Think about when you're scrolling on Instagram and seeing an ad. When you see an ad from a brand, it's not just once, it's typically multiple times, right? Which is why Facebook recommends a frequency of 1.5 to 2 so that people can keep seeing our ad, engaging with it, and then finally taking some kind of action. So that's reach, which is the unique number of people. Frequency is the number of times on average that people are seeing an ad in 1 week. Then we come to the third component, which is impressions. Reach into frequency will give us impressions. So when you're calculating the number of impressions, it's basically the unique number of people who have seen your ad multiplied by the frequency at which they have seen your ad. Now all of these are really the core of Facebook, and irrespective of your campaign type, you will definitely check on these, and even when you're making your media plan, you will have some sort of target reach, target frequency and target impressions in mind. Next metric is CPM, or cost of 1,000 impressions, which is what is the cost on average that I am paying for every 1,000 impressions of my ad. The best way to evaluate what's a good CPM is to look at benchmarks with yourself, that is your past campaigns, and probably industry benchmarks within your vertical. Make sure you try and benchmark within your industry, because again, based on the targeting and the audience, all of these metrics can change quite a bit. The next metric that you'll hear about a lot is CTR, or click-through rate. This is the percentage of people who click on your ad who've actually seen it, right? So it is the number of clicks that your ad gets divided by the number of impressions. This is then multiplied by 100 so that your CTR is actually a percentage. Again, here your benchmarks will be different across different industries, but of course, in the middle and lower in the funnel, when you're choosing traffic or conversion as an objective, your CTRs will be higher than when you're going for a brand awareness kind of campaign. In tandem with CTR, you'll also check the link clicks, which is the number of people who are actually clicking on the link, right? Now on Facebook, there is a concept called call to action, which is essentially the button that you see there. So it could be shop now or call now. And when someone clicks, especially on a shop now or visit now or view now, goes onto your website or ad, link clicks is actually the number of people who have clicked on this specific CTA and then gone onto your website or your app. The next big one, which I'm sure all of us have heard of, is engagement rate. Engagement rate is basically the total engagements by total reach into 100. Now, unlike CTR, which was calculated on impressions, engagement is calculated on reach, right? All of these, by the way, are readily available to us at the back end of Facebook Business Manager. So we don't have to manually make any of these calculations. When we go into Business Manager, into ads reporting, you will actually be able to see all of these metrics for the campaign that you have run. Now, what I have highlighted over here are just some of the key metrics that you should be looking at. The last important metric that I'm going to leave you with is CPV, which is cost per view. It's the total amount spent divided by the total number of views. So it's essentially the cost that you are paying per view. Again here, and like for all of the other metrics, try and benchmark against your own past campaigns. And whenever you're running campaigns on Facebook, it's always important to keep testing different audience types to understand what is working better, right? So if you have set 2 different audience types or 2 different creatives, you can measure CTR, CPMs, and all of these metrics and see which one is performing better. So these were a few metrics which are really important when you're just getting started with Facebook advertising. We will deep dive into each campaign type, into campaign objectives, and setting up a Facebook campaign in videos to come. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we shall see you next time. Thank you.